welcome guys to another little video. Now today's video is over tools because I'm thinking about publishing a tool for you guys to see RAM usage and stuff like that, when it happens and stuff. This is the beginning of it and everything, and I just wanted to get it out there and see what you guys' comments are and like why you should develop and have tools like this. See, one is, okay, I've got some tools and everything else. There's some built-in stuff to the Windows thing, but it's kind of sucky when you're in a game and you want to figure out how much RAM and how much CPU you've always been using, right? So if it gets real high, I need a list of when it gets high. Does it only happen like one time during the game? Does it happen like frequently? I'm talking like this is critical information if I'm developing an application like a game. Okay, in the game, okay, we're in the game, then next thing we notice we're seeing a lot of high processing, in our application that we made, and we need to figure out why. So that tells me I need to go into the Unity and start debugging information. Am I using too much physics or something like that? Something CPU intensive, and then I can find that. But the first thing we need to know is there a problem there? Why am I getting this? It's just like usually when I'm on Edge and Google Chrome and some of the other browsers, which they're fine and everything else, but for some odd reason, like I'll find that I start using like 1.5 gigs of RAM, and I'll have quite a few tabs open and stuff like that, but I'm like, what in the world's going on? Why are you using so much memory, right? And it could be numerous reasons. Maybe garbage collection hasn't been done, or just various other things, right? And well, I have this tool set up where if it's minimized, it will throw a little icon on the bottom that says, hey, your CPU usage is really high when it's at 90%. And this program, I started up in the very beginning. It doesn't matter, and when it's going like at a very peak, like a big time bunch, I've got icons that, hey, this is bad, this is wrong, right? And we'll need to fix it. Right? And I mean, if I'm developing a game and that's the only thing that's running, then I got a problem, because most of the time people that play games, they got beastie systems. I'm talking these guys will go out there and buy like an 8-core processor just so they can play the maximum that they can for a game, right? And they dump money into it. So when your application runs like poop, okay, because guess what? It runs fine, and then you get to this part of the game where, like, even a 15-core system couldn't handle it. People are gonna be pissed, and that's the kind of thing you see backlash on developers all the time because of their applications are just unoptimized junk, right? I mean, it's happened. You're sitting in the game, you're going pretty fine, and then next thing you know is a whole bunch of shots happen and everything else, and you get in a firefight, and then your game like starts lagging and stuff, and you're like, oh, come on, and you're like, what's going on? So the guy obviously thinks, hey, my computer's running like crap. So what do? They either blame it on your game, which is 90% of the time anyway, or they go, hey, I'm using 100% of my CPU at this point. I need a bigger computer, right? It could happen either way. But 9 times out of 10, they probably blame it on your application. So it's important to have tools like this so we can go into the engine and start debugging and trying to figure out, hey, what's going on here that this thing's running like crazy insane stuff. And a lot of times it could be a little memory leak problem, or you got it updating something every single frame that it doesn't need to, right? Maybe you got a UI that's still active and you're like, oh, all we got to do is disable this, and we go from like 50% CPU usage to like 10, right? To literally nothing. And that would be really great for us. But we got to know that there's a problem there first. So when we go and we run our application, we've got this history thing that, well, I'll probably populate a list or something like this in there, and we can see how much our CPU is giving problems. Or, hey, this is the peak. What did I do to get 90 some percent? We'll run through the first level. I'll have a little button here so you can clear this. After you load the first level, you come on this program and you clear it, and then you run that level. And then, you could go, hey, at this point in the game, it was like, you go in there about 2 minutes, or something like that. You run 2 minutes of the mission, you come in here and it's like no usage. Then you run the rest of the mission and it goes from what, 20% or so to 100%. And you're like, well, there's a problem somewhere in those 2 minutes, right? And you start debugging stuff. That's all you need to do. That's how programs work. You just got to keep running through it, and see what you can do to lessen your resources. That way you can put them someplace else. Maybe you want some cooler animation, but you're CPU bound, right? You want a game that can run on a dual core, but you're sitting there on a quad core, computer, sitting there going, hey, I need to get the usage down. What can I do? Maybe pathfind instead of having the units pathfinding. That's a great example of problems that you can be CPU bound with, because how you're doing calculations. Maybe you want a volume or a heap version of just flat out pathfinding, which it helps, because instead of doing it in a single frame, a lot of times do the calculation, you're doing it in several steps. So you get little tiny spikes instead of these monstrous things that just go, hey, let's just not work and start freezing. Or maybe you found that you got an infinite loop somewhere. A little alert of 100% CPU usage would be really nice. And I could easily put that in there and put a little bool value. But it's just several cases of why tools like this are really nice. And, there's several free ones out there, but I'm going to caution you against some of them. Because anytime you download something, you don't know the publisher, you don't know what he's about, you don't know his values, you could easily get yourself like really in a jam with your computer being infected with malware and like viruses and Trojan horde, all that bad stuff. So with any case, it's just like anything else. But I just wanted to get this out here, see what you guys think, and maybe if you guys are more than willing to be cool and watch this grow a little bit, maybe download it or whatever, and I put it on a drive. If you guys are wanting something like this, then let me know. I'll definitely put some time into programming for just this right here, so that way you guys got some cooler stuff to work with. But thanks guys for watching. I hope I can enlighten you guys a little bit on certain things. I know this isn't a programming thing and it's a rant and ramble, but I think it's important enough to include in our little season tutorials or whatnot, because dude, when you start streaming, recording, or playing games, you need to know this kind of stuff. And I developed the stuff for myself, but to develop it for other people would be really nice because it it presents a better image of who I am to you. You know, I'd much rather spend time on doing cool stuff for you guys than go out there and just make a whole bunch of money and do nothing and make no mark in the world. You know, as long as YouTube's around and they don't take my videos down, it will be useful for a long time. I will inspire people for as long as possible. And that's kind of my motto. Why waste time on just myself when I can impact so many more people, and that's the best thing. But anyway, I think I've rambled too much. 11 minutes is pretty long time. So peace out, everybody. Take care, and I hope you guys leave in the comments if you guys are interested in this, or if you think that it sucks and you dislike the video, then that's your thing. Smash that button, do whatever you want. Don't matter, because that's exactly what it's there for. For likes, dislikes, subscribe. If you want to be notified every time that I make a terrible video, smash that bell on there. Make YouTube break my channel, revoke my rights, and I don't know. But peace out, everybody. Take care. This is War, over and out.